What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I'm slowly going to start the transition over to a financial channel, and I wanted to start out by letting you guys know, number one, I'm not qualified to give you any financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. Essentially, you can look at this as entertainment, if you will, but the reality also is this is my own money, and I'm going to share a lot of my financial decisions in terms of investing with you in hopes that you can learn. And one of the first things I want to show you is a mistake that I made. And I'm going to do that later on today because I feel like that's very important. And a lot of people in the investing community on YouTube, I don't feel are transparent enough with their mistakes. Everyone wants to tell you that they're perfect. They have the perfect stock picks. They bought low, they sold high, whatever the case may be. But the reality is, everyone makes mistakes. Sometimes we make mistakes intentionally for tax purposes, if you understand what I mean. So I want to share with you a common mistake later today and explain to you rationally why I made this mistake, but also show you ways you can avoid this mistake. Before I do that, though, I want to talk about three really important things that I learned that held me back from investing. Number one, you don't need to be out of debt. I, right now, as we're talking, have credit card debt. And for the longest time, I thought to myself, why would I invest money if I'm holding credit card debt? If I'm going to get a 5% return investing while I'm paying 18, 19% in credit card debt, that seems to make no sense. But I've also came to the realization that I may never be out of debt. I may always have some form of debt. Home, auto, credit card, emergency situation, medical bill. There may always be a debt. And for me to not invest, waiting for those debts to clear, is unrealistic. And in fact, I would offer probably kept me from investing for about 5 to 10 years that I really needed to invest. And that kind of goes in hand with the second lesson I learned, that if I don't start, then I never will. And the most important aspect of that was once I started investing, I got competitive with investing. And I don't mean competitive as in, oh, look at all these stocks that I own, or oh, look at all the great times that I bought these, but rather being very disciplined to myself and making sure that I was consistent with what I was doing. I was going to put $200 in a week or $100 a week or whatever the case may have been. But by starting that got me into that mindset of, okay, this is what I'm doing. That was extremely important. Even with the debt there, I was disciplining myself financially to say, I am going to invest amount X. And therefore, I was mindful to budget myself better, and in turn actually helped pay off my credit card debts faster, I believe, than I would have had I not been investing. The final thing I want to talk about, and I kind of alluded to it in the beginning, is it's okay to make mistakes. You know, that was one of the really big hurdles that I had to mentally overcome. Because although my family had kind of invested, it was never something that was passed down to me. No one ever really sat down with me and talked to me about investing. I looked at the stock market as a giant risk, as a giant gamble, as something to be afraid of, as some place that people lose all their money. And it seems to be almost a misconception when you get outside of people that invest and you talk to people about it, that there is this, speculative fear that there's not money to be made. I have a very good friend of mine that every time we talk about investing, he basically tells me that one day this is all going to fall apart. That I'm going to wake up one day and half of my money is going to be gone. And that's okay if that happens. The likelihood of every company I invest in failing at the same exact day is astronomical. If that happens, I probably have something else to worry about than what happened to my stocks, like we're in a massive war. So if there's a final point to this, it's don't let other people's fear dictate what you're doing. Because I learned a long time ago, no matter what we're talking about in life, people are going to make money. Whether you're making money with them or not, ultimately becomes the question. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out. I will be back very shortly with more commentary.